My name is Keith Burton, and I have the honor of being a co-chair along with Ron Culp and Bill Heyman of this dinner, and have over the past 8 years. And tonight I want to call your attention to our award ceremony. 8 years ago in 2010, and our first dinner, a dinner we wondered if we would sell out, and we did, to start this wonderful legacy that the Planck Center has built with Milestones and Mentoring. We honored 3 very special people that evening with our Legacy Award, Harold Burson, Dan Edelman, and Al Golin. And this year in April, we lost Al Golin, one of the great leaders of our business. I will tell you a personal story before I went to Golin Harris many years ago, and Rich Jernstedt and others will remember this. I went and interviewed with the firm, but I said to the people who were there, I really want to spend time with Al Golin. I'd heard so much about him. I'd competed against him for many years in Chicago. And so I went to lunch with him, and I can't tell you how charmed I was. One of the things that he said in that lunch about his own philosophy in life was, it was a Woody Allen line, but it was one that he lived by. And that line was, if you find a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That really was his philosophy about life. And as you talk to people about Al Golin and his legacy, you'll learn that he was really the real deal, the authentic leader in all that he did. And we love him and miss him. In fact, Bridget Coughing and I were over at Golin this past week, and as I walked through the executive offices, I noticed his carrel, which was open and vacant, and his legacy was not there, but certainly his memories are. Tonight, I want to share with you a special tribute to him, and we'll start this now.
Yeah, right. The clapboard or something, they call it. You're supposed to yell quiet on the set or something like that. So it sounds like a real, like this is really big time stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, directly into the camera.
Yes.
Okay.
How do you describe a legend like Al in 3 words?
Genuine,
Humble,
engaging,
Hilarious,
generous,
dedicated,
honest,
wise,
curious,
Compassionate, loyal.
I always like to say, fix it before it breaks, with the idea that it takes courage to change things when you don't think they need changing.
He wanted us to look forward. He wanted us to strive. He wanted us to take risks.
The thing that would make Al most proud about Golin today is that we are looked at as an innovator, as somebody that does, as he suggested, fix it before it breaks.
Just the other day, we were talking about something, and I thought, gosh, if I could just ask Al.
What sticks with me is that he proved that you can be a good guy and still be successful in this business.
I feel a greater sense of responsibility for this company, and I think the same is true for our 3 CEOs, because now you want to maintain it in a way that Al would be proud of.
Okay. You ready to roll, or you? I think if there's a lesson to be learned in life about any relationship, it's be yourself, and you'll never go wrong being that.
Join with me in welcoming Gary Rudnick, who's one of the co-CEOs of Golin, who has a few words to share about Al.
Hi, everyone. I was fortunate enough to work with Al for 21 years, and that was at the twilight of his career, the last 21 years, and to sit right next to him for the last several of those years. And I learned so much from him, and I just feel incredibly lucky to have called him my friend, to have called him my colleague, and to call him my mentor. Al received many well-deserved accolades and awards throughout his career, including tonight. And the attributes that led to those honors, strategic, smart, wise, insightful, compassionate, caring, curious, they were all absolutely true. He was all of those things, as you can tell from the comments in that video. But what I miss most about Al was really none of those things at all. What I miss most is Al's sense of humor, and those of you who knew him can appreciate that. He was a genuinely funny man, He wasn't trying to be, he just was. And because, as you heard from him on just moments ago in that video, he believed in the mantra, always be yourself. And Al always was that. And he was a damn funny guy as himself. Al and I shared a love for classic old school comedians like Don Rickles and Mel Brooks, and we used to laugh about them together. Of course, Al had worked with both of them at some point in his career personally, which I had not. I don't think I was born. But Al's humor went beyond an appreciation for comedic talent. He was a natural, and his humor was both disarming and a very powerful business weapon. He would use his humor to make you laugh, to make you feel comfortable, to put you at ease, and to make you his friend. And then he would deliver his wisdom, or he would sell the idea, or he would win the account after he had you in that place. And it was truly a pleasure to watch, and it was a lot of fun. There are dozens of stories about Al's humor that I could talk about, just a few, like when he flipped over backwards in a leather chair at a new business meeting once. And he stood up unfazed and said, "For my next trick," to a room that was totally flat, but that was him. He won the account. Or the time he mistook a very new Golin employee for a client at a crowded reception. And when the young man said he actually worked for Golin, Al joked in his very dry way, "Well, what the hell am I talking to you for?" Point me to the clients. Or the opening line to many of his speeches in his later years. He'd say, "Thank you very much. At this age, I'm just happy to be vertical." And he'd open it that way all the time, and he'd think it was the first time he had ever said it, but it worked every time. He just had a way of making people smile. I miss his self-deprecating style and how truly unimpressed he was with himself. He was a regular guy, he was a nice guy, an interested guy, and a brilliant guy. And in this business, we need more of those kinds of people. So if you take one piece of advice from Al today, make it the last part of that video. Be yourself, and you'll never go wrong if you do. And hopefully you can make a lot of people laugh along the way, just like Al did, and that's really, like I said, what I miss most about him. So thank you to the Plank Center on behalf of Al, on behalf of his wife June, his family, his Golin family, and all of the people in this industry that he impacted and made smile over all those years. Thanks.